Hey guys, welcome back to Sip and Dip with Chelsea. For today's video, we are gonna have a battle of the liquids. So we're gonna test out dip powder liquids against gel liquids, also known as the gel method. So I have my Azure 2-in-1 dip liquids and my Madam Glam base and gel top coat. We're gonna test them in different categories, all the way from prep to removal. There will be a point system and we will see who wins this battle. So for product count, what I mean is how many products I need to get this manicure on. So I grabbed my Azure 2-in-1 liquids to make it fair. As you can see, there's 2 here, and I also have 2 for base and gel. So right now you would think this is even, but Manny Boss said, hold my crown. She came out with a 2-in-1 gel base and top coat, which obviously this takes the cake. So I have to give the point to gel because at this point there is no one bottle solution for dip powder liquids. So right now you could use this one gel base and one dip powder and you would be done. So as far as product count goes, gel takes it. So one major complaint for a lot of people is the smell of the dip powder liquids. So it can really bother some people's sinuses to the point where they develop dip flu. So dip flu is when they have flu-like symptoms, so the runny nose, the sore throat, the whole 9 yards because of the odor and the smell. Now before we go giving a point to gel liquids, I want to show you an alternative. Dip powder companies are now coming out with low odor or no odor base and top coat options. I tried out this Sparkle & Co. base one and it is great. It's very thin consistency, very slow dry time. I also saw Color My World Dips offers one. So be on the lookout. More companies are offering this. So we are not going to give a point to gel just yet. So if we're going to air dip liquids dirty laundry, then we got to talk about gel allergies. I've seen some really scary gel allergies in the past, so when I'm trying out new gel products, I always make sure in the very least that they are HEMA free. As you can see here, this is 21 free, HEMA free, vegan, cruelty free. So when you decide to dabble in gel products, please check out those ingredients. Make sure in the very least that it is HEMA free. And there are actually a lot of other ingredients in gel products that can also cause an allergy. So for that reason, we have dip powder liquids causing dip flu and we have gel products causing a gel allergy. So I'm going to make this category a tie. So we're going to pretend this swatch stick is my natural nail. We're going to get it ready for application with dip powder liquids. I have my glass cuticle pusher here, so I'm just gently pushing back the cuticle, making sure I don't have anything left on my nail plate. Then with the other side, I clean all of that out. So I have mentioned in my prep video that I choose to not rough up my own natural nails, but based on your lifestyle and your nail chemistry, if that is necessary for you, then please do. For the sake of this battle, I'm going to keep things fair. I'm going to skip this base liquid hack and I'm going to prep them the same way, but you will still see after this prep category, there is a winner. So since I'm doing this on a swatch stick and the highest grit nail file that I do have on hand is a 180 grit, I'm going to use the 180 grit to remove the shine on the swatch stick. I will focus it up around the cuticle area to make sure I don't have anything left on the nail plate that might cause lifting, and basically remove the shine gently across the entire swatch stick. So next I would use a pH prep or a dehydrator of some sort to cleanse the nail and get it ready for dip powder liquids. Right here I have my Sparkle & Co. pH prep. I just apply a layer of this and let it dry, and that's it, y'all. We would be ready for our dip powder manicure with dip liquids. It's very easy and very straightforward. Now we're going to prep like we were doing the gel method. So I have my glass cuticle pusher. For the most part, this process is exactly the same, just making sure I don't have anything on the swatch stick, taking the shine off of my nail very gently, not applying pressure, using my pH prep or dehydrator. But here's where things change. When I tried to do the gel method, I discovered that I really needed a nail primer. And the problem with a lot of nail primers is that they have HEMA in them, and I could not get the gel to properly adhere to my nail without this product. So for me, this is gonna have to be a negative, y'all. It's not as straightforward. You need that extra product and it contains HEMA. So I'm gonna give the prep round to dip powder liquids. I grabbed Truth from Revel Nail. I have my Azure 2-in-1 base liquid. I'm gonna apply a thin, even layer across the entire swatch stick. This will be a full dip coverage. And right here, y'all, this is contamination 101. Wiping my brush off on that napkin, I have to give 1 point to gel liquids because they don't have to worry about that contamination issue that you do with dip powder liquids. So you can see this is my first layer. It's a beautiful, even coverage. No complaints here. Second layer is the same steps, just applying a thin, even layer of the base liquid, wiping my brush off on the napkin, and then dipping into the powder. And that is it for our color layers. So now we're going to start on our gel method application. As you can see here, I have another product on my desk. This is a cupcake liner. When you're doing the gel method, you do need to pour over so that you don't move the product around on the nail plate. So we're going to pour the powder over into this cupcake liner. I have my gel base here, and we're going to do a thin, even layer across the entire swatch stick and then pour over. What I love about the gel method is that the liquids will self-level beautifully on your nail plate and you don't have to rush. So as you can see here, I'm just taking my time, pouring the product over the swatch stick, and there's no rush to it. Now I'm going to cure for 30 seconds in my lamp. So immediately I have to give a point to dip powder liquids. This lamp is an added expense. It's another product sitting on my desk. And of course, we can't forget the people who are concerned about having their hands and skin in a lamp. There are alternatives to that. They do sell gloves if that is something you are concerned about. But because it is an added product and expense that I would have to do for the gel method, we're gonna give a point to dip powder liquids. So to save time, I did a second layer with the gel method off camera. That's this one right here on the right-hand side. And as you can see, it is a little bit darker. I know a lot of y'all have experienced this with dip powder, is that the gel method can actually change and alter the color sometimes. It's just part of the process and it happens, whether that be a light shade or a dark shade. So I have to give a point over to dip powder liquids for this issue because at this time, I don't know a solution, and if it doesn't bother you, that's great, but it does bother some when they see that the color is not the same. As far as application goes, you can see that the gel really takes the cake. It is so smooth. This dip powder liquid one, I have some issues up here at the cuticle area, some lumps, some bumps, but the gel swatch stick is so beautiful and evenly coated. So I grabbed this clear dip powder from Dip Nailed It. It's called Invisible. When we're using dip powder liquids and we want to clear encapsulate, we do need clear dip powder. So I've got my dip base and I'm going to apply a thin, even layer across the entire swatch stick and then dip into the clear dip powder. As you can see, I don't have any specks, I don't have any bubbles, so this is a great quality clear dip powder. Let's talk about gel method clear encapsulation. So you don't need clear dip powder when you're using gel liquids. I actually don't suggest that you do that with the clear because it creates a lot of air bubbles. Gel and clear just don't seem to jive. So we're gonna apply a thin, even layer of this gel base to the nail and then cure for 30 seconds, and that is it. So when it comes to clear encapsulation, it's such a straightforward process that we're going to give this round to gel. So for the dip powder liquids, we're going to apply this activator onto the swatch stick and let it dry for 2 minutes. So I start out by going around the free edge, making sure I get my shape back on the swatch stick, and then I run the 180 grit across the entire top surface. As you remember, I have a little bit of lumps and bumps there on the side, and my cuticle area could use some cleaning up. And then when I'm happy with it, I use my buffing block to smooth the entire surface of the nail. So for the gel method, we don't need to activate. It is already hardened when we did our layer of gel base and cured, but we do need to remove that tacky layer. So I have some rubbing alcohol here and a lint-free wipe, and I'm just going to cleanse it so that we can file and shape. So because the gel self-levels beautifully, I can go straight in with my buffing block, which means I'm saving time by not having to use my 180 grit to clean anything up. So here they are side by side. On my left side here is the dip powder liquid, and on my right side here is the gel method. Because we do have to wait 2 minutes for the activator to dry, and we have to do a little bit more cleanup sometimes when we're using dip powder liquids, I'm going to give this round to the gel method. It's a much faster and straightforward process. So for dip powder liquid top coats, we do need to apply another layer of activator and then let that dry for 2 minutes. Once it's dry, I clean it off with a dry napkin to remove any leftover activator residue. So because this is a 2-in-1 base and top coat, I prefer to leave a little bit more liquid on my brush when I'm using it in the top coat step. So I got a little bit more product on here, and I'm gonna do 3 quick strokes on the swatch stick. So for my second layer, I have more product on my brush again, just being more precise, more detailed. I make sure to really cap off my free edge and then let it dry. To get my gel swatch stick ready for top coat, I'm going to cleanse it with some rubbing alcohol. Because I buffed it really smooth, I'm going to apply a layer of gel base and then cure before doing top coat. This will prevent the top coat from peeling. Now I can apply my gel top coat. So I'm gonna apply a thin layer of this across the entire swatch stick and then cure for 60 seconds. So here they are side by side. On the left side is the dip powder liquids, on the right are the gel. And I know y'all, people are ride or die for their top coat team. And y'all are not gonna like what I'm about to say, because I know some of you are thinking, well, you have to wait for the activator to dry and you have to wait for the dip powder liquids to dry. But there are some people who just cannot stand the way the gel top coat feels. It feels like rubber on their nail. And I feel as though the Sparkling Coat, Glossy Coat 2.0, and so many other brands really do have that super high shine. They're just as durable. And I have to make this a tie. And I know some of y'all are not gonna agree with that. And I understand we can all have our opinions, but I have to make it a tie because it comes down to personal preference and which brand you use, but I find them all to be so shiny and durable. All right, so you're sick of your mani and you're ready to remove it. I have my 100% pure acetone here and a cotton ball. Removal can be really straightforward. I do the hot water baggie method. I have a video of that on my channel as well. This is the dip powder liquid swatch stick. All I would have to do is just go straight in. I wouldn't really even need to file anything down. It's a really quick, simple process. I could probably have both hands done in under 10 minutes. Now, when it comes to gel liquids, I would highly suggest using a 100 grit nail file and file it down a ton. File through that top coat, file through some of the color, because removing with gel liquids is quite the process. It definitely takes longer than when you're using dip powder liquids. So the obvious winner for me when it comes to removal is going to be dip powder liquids. All right, y'all, you made it to the end of the battle, and the winner was gel liquids. And it was a close call, and I know some of y'all may not agree with my numbers, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to your own personal preference, your budget, what you're comfortable with, what you want to spend, what you want to dabble in, and honestly, what you place value on. Because I can tell you right now, the reason I don't play with gel liquids as much is because of the gel allergy scares that I've seen. And honestly, I don't want to remove it. Removal is such a pain for me, so I stick with my dip powder liquids. I would rather spend more time filing and shaping instead of removing. I would love to hear which liquids are your go-to. What team are you on, dip powder or gel method? I hope that you found today's video helpful, maybe even a little entertaining. I hope y'all have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video.